Good evening. I call this meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. This meeting tonight will be held in person. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education and the public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. This meeting is an in-person meeting at 870 Colfax, Benton Harbor. In addition to the live stream, this meeting is available at the following link. Questions may be submitted beforehand to alita.ruiz@bhas.org or presented in person during the public comment sessions as indicated. Board members may be contacted through emails listed below. Requests for special assistance, including for persons with disabilities, may also be sent to alita.ruiz@bhas.org. We now come to the Pledge of Allegiance part of our Board of Education meeting. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Secretary Triplett, can you please do the roll call?
President Robinson, Vice President Bowen,
Present.
Secretary Triplett, President Treasurer Gavin,
Present.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Present.
Trustee Bradley,
Present.
Trustee Doyle.
Present.
Mr. Vice President, a quorum has been established.
Thank you so much, Secretary Triplett. We are now at the section of approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the agenda?
I so move.
Support. It's been moved by Secretary Triplett, supported by Trustee Bradley. Is there any questions or concerns? Therefore, sorry, Trustee Gavin.
Do we, what date do we have to, start getting briefed on the partnership agreement?
Great question. I will get that question to you. Your answer to you via email as soon as I review my data.
I asked because I'm wondering if, like, is it today? Does that have to be on our agenda, or is there anyone who can answer?
I don't want to put,
Do you understand what I'm asking?
sorry.
I know there was a requirement for partnership agreement updates on our agenda, and I wasn't, if it's today, then, and I apologize for not thinking about it till now, but
I think, yep, and I do agree with that. That should be on our agenda. And so it's it is some information that we must have on a regular basis in our meeting, at least have partnership agreement update. So I'm not sure, Mr. Sanders, if people are aware that this is something that is on the agenda, even if there's nothing to report out, but there should always be something to report out as it relates to the partnership agreement.
Thank you. And I will refer your question to Madam President. She is coming. So if you want to do that in old business, ask that question.
okay,
So she is coming and she's just running a little late. Sorry.
thank you.
Is there any other questions on the approval of the agenda? Therefore, being none, Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin, Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you so much. We are now at the section of the review of the board norms. And if you can, thank you. We will treat each other with respect. We will listen to learn. We will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting our meetings and ending our meetings on time. We will challenge ideas, not people. We will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration, which are as follows: pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intentions. Thank you. We are now at the section of public comment on agenda items. Is there any public comments on the agenda items?
The public.
Therefore, being none on the public side. Therefore, being no public comments, we are at the section of reviewing the board meeting minutes. I did not see those. Maybe I overlooked them.
Do you have your computer?
It's down there.
Yeah, the regular session minutes are on our computer, I mean, and on the agenda. So we can click into it ourselves
Okay, thank you.
to look at it. And I do want to thank Ms. Ruiz and I want to say Miss Monroe, but it's not Monroe. But I want to thank them. We've been working together directly and indirectly on making sure that we have things together, prepared for our meeting from a Board of Education perspective.
Okay, and the minutes that we will be reviewing are 7/21/26, and it does show on our screen behind us. Is there any questions or comments on those meeting minutes?
My computer says request access on the minutes.
Does anybody else want access?
I requested access as well.
Yeah, I did too.
Yes, and moving forward, anything that's put on this agenda, we should always have access prior to.
And as you guys are reviewing it, just let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns on those meetings.
And this is from our meeting last week.
Yes, it seems like I can't believe it's been that longer, but yes, last week.
Good.
Is there any questions on the other end, trustee Bradley or? No, this is. Okay. And we're just looking at these meetings, so these meeting minutes. Therefore, being no discussion, we will go to board business. There is no board business at the moment. However, that could probably go down in new business and old business when Madam President comes. We are now going to give the floor to our new interim superintendent. Welcome as superintendent. He's a Dayton Harbor alumni class of 1990. I was riding the Batmobile back then. So we are excited and the floor is yours.
I would like to first begin by saying thank you to this board for your support and confidence. And I want to say thank you to our community for supporting the vision of improving our school. Guys, give me. This is not a job that I take lightly, and I certainly look forward to earning the confidence of all of the members of our community. I have what I think is an exciting announcement. When you leave the Circle Drive today, circle back through, get a chance to look up, but our clock is working. And I thought it was really important to get our clock working because it symbolizes to our entire community that it's time to go to work, and it's time to put our kids first. And that's what that clock represents to everybody in Benton Harbor. And I'm just really happy that our clock is working because it says that we're working. And so very excited about that. I want to thank Mr. Al Sewell and his team for taking on that responsibility and getting that clock to work. Also want to talk about the 35M Early Literacy Grant. I'm pleased to share some exciting news regarding one of our recent awards, which is the 35M grant. Our district has officially been awarded funding through Michigan Section 35M Early Literacy Materials Grant. This state-funded grant is designed to help school districts strengthen literacy instruction by providing high-quality instructional materials, professional learning that are aligned to Michigan's early literacy initiatives and the science of reading. The purpose of this grant is to ensure that our youngest learners receive strong evidence-based reading instruction so they develop the foundational skills necessary for long-term academic success. As a part of our application, Benton Harbor Area Schools requested funding to support the adoption and implementation of Amplified Core Knowledge Language Arts, the 3rd edition, as our comprehensive elementary literacy curriculum. Our proposal also included professional learning and implementation support to ensure our teachers have the resources and training needed for successful classroom implementation. I'm pleased to report that our application was approved and Benton Harbor Area Schools has received the award. The district was awarded $139,326 to support the implementation of Amplify CKLA, the 3rd edition, and related professional learning. This investment will provide our elementary teachers and students with high-quality instructional resources, ongoing professional development, and implementation support that will strengthen literacy instruction across the district. Most importantly, it represents another step forward in our commitment to ensuring every Benton Harbor student becomes a confident and successful reader. I want to thank everyone who contributed to this effort, including our curriculum staff, instructional leaders, financial and grant team. We also appreciate our partners with Amplify as we begin planning for implementation. We look forward to sharing additional updates as we move through the implementation process and begin putting these new resources into the hands of our teachers and our students. I would also like to add that I'm really pleased that we're using Amplify Core Knowledge Language Arts simply because I've had, about 10 years of experience of working with this particular curriculum company. We use them in Tennessee and we use them in my role as lead partner in Arkansas. And so I'm very familiar with this curriculum. And I am confident that this particular curriculum aligns to our state standards, our state assessment, the M-STEP, and will help prepare our kids for the big stakes testing such as PSAT and SAT. And so that was a breath of fresh air to walk in and see that we were using in our lower grades Amplify. And so I think that's a really, really good thing for our district. I would also like to add that our kids deserve the best. And I want everyone in our community to know that that's my intention, to provide our students, our teachers, our parents, and all of our stakeholders with the absolute best support so that we can thrive and so that our children can be successful. And so I want to thank everybody for that. I also want to announce to our community, and we're very happy about this, our entire professional development request has been approved by the state of Michigan, not just for the opening of school, but for the entire school year. And that's really huge because it allows us to plan not only at the back to school professional development level, but it also allows us to plan for our professional learning communities, which is critical to the success of any school. And so that was a really big win, in my opinion, for our entire school district today.
Is there any, are you,
She have a question.
okay. Is there any questions for I'm sorry, Mr. Sanders? We're prophesying, Dr. Sanders? Trustee Gavin, Treasurer Gavin, sorry.
Want to welcome you, Superintendent Sanders, and congratulate you on getting the professional development courses approved. My question is about I hope I'm saying it right. There was a restorative practices training that staff received last year. Is that training a part of this professional development? It was something that I know Trooper Burton might know, Coach Burton, Director Burton might know more about it, but it was dealing with like the MTSS, culture and climate, that type of thing. And it seemed like something pretty powerful that may have been an interest in rolling it out district-wide or school-wide. Is that a part of this plan?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that question. So the initial plan that you guys see, that's our plan for the week of August 17th through the 21st, which is optional for teachers. All of our teachers come back on the 24th, which is our second week of PD, because our students come back on the 31st. During that second week of PD, we will have the social emotional
Awesome.
learning supports for our teachers. We'll have professional development for our MTSS staff, for our campus safety team, but every division within our school district. This initial week is the week that teachers have the option to attend this training for additional learning. So to answer your question, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Is it that same company? Do you know?
Well, if you're referring to the training that we had on the third floor last year.
Yes.
On the week of the 24th through the 31st, it won't be that company. But we will still engage with that company. I attended that training myself and found it to be very, very valuable. And so that is a partnership and a relationship that we'll continue to
awesome.
to support.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think that training is absolutely necessary in every school, every stage of development for our children.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's exciting to hear.
Is there any other questions for Superintendent Sanders? Therefore, being none, we are now thank you, Mr. Sanders. We are now at teaching and learning, and I'm going to hand it to you, Treasurer Gavin.
Hey, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Superintendent Sanders, as we will have to come up with our dates of when we have our committee meetings and what works for you. So I look forward to reaching out to you to find out when what's the best rhythm for that. But for now, I'll turn it over to you. And at that time, we can talk about what our priorities have been and if that's a match for your vision as well.
Did we talk about that?
And so I would like to take this time to introduce to our school board and our entire community the 4 priorities that will drive our work. These 4 priorities are rooted, and I attached this so you'll see this in your packet, an article from the new teacher project, TNTP, called The Opportunity Mill. And these 4 priorities talk about grade level work and the importance of providing kids with grade level work. Even when we hear those statements like, well, our kids are behind and they can't handle grade level work. Well, I think that's a myth. And so grade level work is going to be one of our priorities. Even though we know that some of our kids are going to need support, they're going to need scaffolds. Our second priority is strong instruction. Ensuring that all of our kids get strong instruction. And for our kids to get strong instruction, our teachers have to have strong support. Our teachers have to be well trained. And so without going into, a long dissertation around which, the components of each one of these priorities, If you think about this term strong instruction, I like to really, put it in perspective by just thinking about two words, and that's student thinking. And adding rigor to our curriculum and to our practices. Our third priority is going to be deep engagement. And how do we engage our teachers and our students in the learning process? How do we ensure that kids are having experiences in their classroom that translate to other aspects of life? How are we going to make sure that our kids are college and career ready? How are we going to make sure that our kids have the opportunities to engage wholeheartedly in our CTE offerings as we even think about expanding those offerings? But engagement is the key. If we really want our kids to love school, if we really want our kids to be successful in school, then it's our job to engage them and not just house them. And so deep engagement will be our priority throughout my time here. And then I think we all will agree that we should all have high expectations. And high expectations is more than just a term. It shows up in every single thing that we do. Getting the clock fixed is an example of high expectation. That may not seem like much, but it's important. And I think that our kids deserve things that work. I have high expectations for our teachers. I have high expectations for our administrators. That's the only way that we can really show our kids that we're doing work to support their learning. And high expectations, it's not just a term, it's every single thing that we do. How we plan. Do we get to work on time? Do we carry ourselves in a professional manner? Do we respect kids? Do we respect our families? Do we engage our parents? These things are important to me, and I know these things are important to this school board, and I know these things are important to our families in this community. And so those are the four priorities that drive my thinking when I think about our academic program. The reason that I added the opportunity myth, and I'll give you guys a chance to look at this on your own when you have time. It's a couple of pages, so I don't expect you to read it here. But the premise of this is that there's a myth that we tell kids to go to school, work hard, and you'll be successful. And that's not always the case, because we see kids come to school, work hard, and then go and struggle when they pursue opportunities because we've not given them strong instruction. We've not provided them with rigorous learning opportunities. We've not deeply engaged them in the process. And then that's the myth that allows us to think that just because you go to school 12 years, you're automatically going to go to college, or you're automatically going to go into a profession, you're automatically going to go into a trade and be successful. No, it's our responsibility to make sure that our kids are not victims of a myth, that our kids are properly trained and prepared for the world that they're going to face. And so I would ask each member of the board, when you get an opportunity, to please read that piece that we included around the opportunity myth, because I think it speaks directly to the students and the families in Benton Harbor. And so that's really important. You can tell I'm really passionate about that piece. But that's really important, that our kids are not victims of a myth, but that our kids are absolutely prepared for whatever they choose to do next in life. Even if it's later after they graduate high school, that preparation, they still deserve it. And so please, if you get a chance, take a look at that. But those are the four priorities that will drive our work and will drive every single decision that we make as it relates to Benton Harbor area schools and the students that we serve.
Thank you, Superintendent Sanders. Let the record show that I arrived at 6:30 p.m. Does the board have any feedback or comments? Not sure if you all have already had discussion. You have the floor.
I had a chance to glance over this, and I'm looking forward to working with you, and I'll say what I gotta say at the end. I'll say what I have to say at the end, but I look forward to working with you, and I'm very excited. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Trustee Rockett,
And I appreciate your thinking. And also, especially about the part of engagement, deep engagement for students. And I'm just a firm believer that the more engaged the child is in his classroom, in his studies, and his interests, not just engaged, but what he's interested and in doing, that they will come to school. Because I know we do have a problem with attendance. And so it's hard to kind of teach kids when they're not present. But I think the more we get them engaged and they can see that there's a benefit to them, the more they're willing to come to school. And they will come. If you make it an inviting place.
I agree.
you have the floor.
I would just like to say this is the first time that I've heard the word rigor when it comes to our school system. And I appreciate the fact of you saying that, you know, like people say, well, you can't, our kids can't read, our kids are below grade level. But I have always believed in my heart that if I taught fifth grade is what should be taught in that classroom. And you make the necessary adjustments for those students with, you know, with the differentiation skills and those type of things. But I am so happy to hear, because one of the things that throughout my years in education and throughout just education period, sometimes people get stuck in that. And that's where they keep our kids, and our kids are not afforded the opportunity to get what they were. If you're in the fifth grade, you should be doing fifth grade work. And that's how they should be measured. So to hear you saying one of your priorities is to focus on grade level instruction, I'm just happy to hear that, and with rigor. Thank you.
Vice President Bowens.
I also agree. You know, I told you guys the story that I wanted to read a book and they told me it wasn't on my grade level and I did a protest. I got a whooping, but I'm just excited that this is the focus and the opportunity myth, and I look forward to learning more about it.
Okay, so I would just like to thank you for coming in with your list of academic priorities on your first meeting. Also, thank you for ensuring that we had an agenda put together. Your first day was yesterday, so I appreciate the work put in with your staff to ensure we had something tangible today. And I'm just excited. I also thank you for sharing data and a theory with the board. We are a board that believes in lifetime learning, so I look forward to looking over what you've shared with us concerning the opportunity. So thank you so much. Vice President Bowens, were we at Business and Finance? Is that what would be the next?
No,
Okay,
Trustee Gavin is still.
all right, you have the floor to continue, Trustee Gavin.
Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Director Brock Carter. Thank you so much, Treasurer Gavin. And I do want to mention on the agenda, under the Back to School Bash, I want to make sure that you all, the board, know that this is an open invitation for the Back to School Bash. We are having it Thursday, August 13th from 12 to 4 right here on the high school lawn. So I just want to make sure that you all saw the flyer in your binders and were aware of the Back to School Bash date and time.
All right.
Okay, the finance updates. These are the monthly reports for June 2026, our last month in last school year. So just a financial summary, our general revenues were at 102% and our expenses were 95%. We were at 100% of the school year. So we have ended the year over budget in revenues and under budget in expenses, which is a good place to be. I always like to mention the dates of our state aid. And year-to-date revenues were lower than last year in June due to decreased federal revenues and no longer receiving ESSER funds. Our year-to-date expenses are also lower compared to last year in June due to not making purchases with ESSER funds. Some of our large payments that went out in June, CPM Construction, $160,000, TARE, $137,323.84, Mesa, $91,271.48, First Student, $796,182.72, and there was several months of invoices. Please don't be alarmed. We had to update the budget before we could make those payments because we didn't have enough budgeted in our transportation line items. So that's why some of those invoices were held off until June. Berrien County Treasurer, $63,418.75. TNTP, $59,435. And Stepping Stones, $70,639.50. Our budget to actual summary. It just goes over our our budget versus actual amounts from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. And as stated previously, our total revenues were 102% of our budget, slightly over. And our total expenses were 95% of our budget, slightly under. So we are coming in as of June 30th, 2026, pre-audit at about $5,505,542 in deficit for the year. That could increase or decrease depending on our final numbers after our audit, which we are in audit mode right now. Our budget to actual detail report just shows the details behind the summary, more in depth on individual line items. Please let me know if you have any questions. Yes, Director Carter, if it's possible to kind of automatically share what we have in the bank. Sure, that'll be on our financial position. Okay. So that'll be a couple of reports down, but today, yes. Okay. Yeah, it is a part of every monthly report. Okay, and if we can, I think it might also be helpful if we know what that percent, I'll always ask, what's the state's required percentage that we have in the fund balance? So we also know where are we in terms of percentage wise as well. Okay. Does that question make sense on your? Yes. Okay, thank you. No problem. I'm sorry, does anyone help, Secretary Triplett, my apologies.
Yes, I'm looking here at these large payments. The $796,000 is very concerning this late in the game, and I know there you stated that all of these invoices came in. A lot of invoices came in toward the end of the year.
No, they didn't come in at the end of the year. We held back payment until we had the budget update. Per the state law, we can't do budget so once we got close to our amount that we had previously budgeted in function code 271 for transportation, I had to, even though First Student was sending us the invoices, we couldn't pay them
until we did our final budget for 25-26. So once we did and voted on that, then I was able to make those payments.
Okay, question. So was this year's budget, what we paid the first student more than last year?
Yes,
Is there any particular reason why with no major increase in student enrollment? Why would it be more this year than it was
Yes, please.
last year?
we added quite a few additional routes to support our CTE students. So that was the major reason for the increase. There were probably more particulars, but that was the overall reason for the increased amount of transportation costs. And the increased amount, the cost of fuel has increased substantially as well
Right.
for 25-26 compared to 24-25. So with both of those things combined, we did have more transportation costs in 25-26 than we had in 24-25.
Right. So just on a comparison basis, I appreciate that information. And those are the things, you know, I believe that if you don't know something, you should ask. And I appreciate that clarification. If there's anything that you could do, I don't want to add anything to your plate. I know you guys are in move mode right now. But if we looked at that and the way that this is broken down with first student, if we could do the last year, the previous year, and this year with each item so that we could see, you know, what it was clearly, you know, how this went up so much. How much more do you know? Did it go up?
Yeah, I actually have a report for 24-25 in June as well. Just a second.
Secretary Triplett, would it be sufficient if Director Carter sends you that today?
That's fine. You don't have to
Okay.
do it today because you weren't prepared for that. That's fine. You can get that information to me. That'll be fine. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Great question.
I will provide that information for you for the total amount we paid in transportation 24-25 compared to 25-26.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any other board members who have questions? President Robinson?
Not quite a question, just a suggestion. Those 2 points of clarification that you asked for earlier, I think that they would be awesome to put on your summary.
Okay.
And that way, I know we have reports and we can dig through them, but you're a lot quicker with getting to the line item than we are.
Okay.
I think that would be helpful for us.
Yeah, I'll add that line and it will be there every month.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, now to the vendor payment report. So you can see all the payments that we made in June. Please let me know if you have any questions.
I see. Is that your hand, Vice President Burns?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Two things, proximity learning. I see we paid like $12,000. How long is that contract and can we,
That contract ended June 30th and it was not renewed.
okay. And then the Gerald Stewart, what professional development was that one?
That was at Fairplain Middle School with Mr. Alexander and his staff. It was a 2-day professional development.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay, I believe we can.
Okay, I'm sorry, I've been having issues with my Chrome crashing.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Ms. Dorsey.
Treasurer Gavin, sorry, I don't know if you.
Yes.
Can I ask one more question, please?
Sure.
On the lawn care, I see two. I see Gonzalez and I see Hungry Mowers.
That's correct.
Is there a reason why there are two different ones?
We don't have a contract in place. Our former superintendent wanted to try out different companies before we signed a contract for the entire season. So that's why there are different vendors doing those duties.
Okay. And what is the total that it has to be coming before the board?
I believe 30,000 and something, I'm not sure.
So do you think, and here's my line of thinking. Do you think if we're using it to cut grass and we're paying 10,000 here, 12,000 here, 10,000 here, we're still overgoing that $30,000 budget, or is it because it's a different company?
The 30,000 is per vendor, not per
Okay,
job.
thank you.
Okay, our June credit card charges. Please let me know if you have any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's connected to credit cards, but more so expensive. Have we initiated the process of transferring authorization of credit cards and bank accounts and things of that nature?
Yes, I actually had sent the emails last week with the dates that Mr. Sanders will be starting. So we have some signing to do and some steps that we need to take, but yes, we have initiated that process.
And I know that there was normally a form that we would do at the top of the year in the organizational meeting, but then we've also done it during transitions of leadership. There's the signatory form.
Yes.
That's something we need to do currently, right? To get him updated on the.
Yes, once we receive the form from the bank, we'll be putting it on the agenda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question, on this credit card.
Yes, Secretary Triplett.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You scared me. Yeah, well, okay, I'm just sitting in my mind, I'm just looking. I'm sorry, Treasurer Gavin. Please forgive me. So I see on here, so on the credit card statement, so we have like user JK, user RZ. Is there any way this form can be more,
Yeah, that would be the staff person who checked out the card to use it for that transaction.
yes,
So,
could their names be on here for us? Cause we don't know, I'm TB, or if I want, you know, if I had any questions to be clear for us, see, this is.
sure, we can start, we'll probably put their first initial and last name,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I mean, that'll be helpful.
no
You know,
problem.
and if like, say, for instance, if it's from Central, or if it's from Fairplain, if it's from the athletic department, if it's from Benton Harbor High School, a more detailed sheet so that we will know who actually has access, and, you know, just to get an opportunity to see how it's going, because all of these things, like you comparing and contrasting and seeing who's using these cards, why are they using these cards? Not saying, not accusing anybody of anything, but just for us to be able to see.
Sure, we can add that information in the user column.
Thank you.
Also, I'm wondering if there's a way to streamline this educational process. We have these documents ahead of time, and if there are items that you feel are imperative that we go through, you could just let us know what those are. And sure, I'm hoping that if folks had questions, they would get them to you, or if they pop up, they'll let us know throughout.
Okay. I just want to review the revenues and expenses sheet because that shows our fund balance at the end of the period for all funds. And right now, at the end of June 30th, for all funds, our fund balances total 26,417,386.
Thank you. And so in the future, what we would look for is what that percentage is of what the state requires us to have in the bank to be in good standing.
Correct. I'll add that to the financial summary for the next board meeting for this one. Since those, we will be voting, I'll have that information in the summary.
That'd be perfect. Thank you so much. Is that all, okay, good deal. All right, thank you so much. One quick question. I know we voted on the budget. What happened after that? Did it need to be submitted and approved or anything like that?
Once you are voted on, it will be soon when we start to discuss the July 2026 financial documents. That's when we'll see the new budget. This is the June information, so we'll see all that information when we start reporting July going forward.
Okay, good deal. Thank you so much. Thanks for all you're doing and your whole team, Director Brock Carter, and I'll turn it over to you, President Robinson.
All right, thank you so much to you both. Just a reminder, she'll be taking or requesting vote for staff report F1, showing a total of $1,769,407, 407.15. So if you have any additional questions prior to next meeting, please ensure you go through the register and send those to her advance. I would like to thank Bradley for always having a keen eye on financials and sending his questions in advance as well. So next we have facilities and operations. I know that we don't necessarily have a standard agenda, but I will give floor to Superintendent Sanders, and then if it's anything additional that the committee wanted to add. Did you have any updates that you needed to give to us at this time?
Well, spent about, yesterday was my first day, and I spent about 3 hours, a little bit over 3 hours walking through our facilities. And saw some things that need attention. I'm really, I don't want to say this, I'm excited to go through the process of selecting a director of facilities. This, in my opinion, is a vital role. Our assets have to be maintained. They have to be well taken care of. And I'll say this in my first meeting. I believe this, so I'll say it. I believe that our district is going to increase in size. And I believe that because we're asset rich and we have facilities, that we should not look at our facilities like these are just old buildings that we no longer use. Because that's not the case. These are buildings that we absolutely intend to use, because I know that students will come back to Benton Harbor area school when they're strong instruction, deep engagement, grade level work, and high expectations. And so I spent a lot of time yesterday looking at our existing facilities and thinking about those facilities that we're not using, because both, whether it's the school that's up and running now, or if it's a school that's closed and we're no longer occupying, I think it's important that we treat all of them with the sense of urgency that it takes to maintain our facility. So I was very pleased with the walkthrough. It's my intention to have a facilities director in place when our kids hit the ground. That's key. And so I look forward to coming back to this board and to our community with some real substance around our facilities. But that's, 2 days in, that's where I am today.
Awesome. So I do want,
President,
yes, you have your floor.
oh, well, sir, you gotta check it.
Congratulations, Mr. Sanders, on
Thank you.
becoming our superintendent. My question is, how do you feel about the rec center in the pool? Is that a priority to try to get that up and going? Or where does that stand? That's my question.
Well, I'll answer the first part of your question, how I feel about it. I'm passionate about the renovation of that facility. As a student, I enjoy that facility. That facility right now is actually where our football players practice. We have a game opening night, August 28th. So we're still using that facility. We're not using it to its fullest potential. But we're still using that facility. I am dedicated to upgrading that facility, maintaining that facility to the highest level. I want to see our pool and our rec center just as bad as anybody in this city. Safety is key. We're not going to do things just to get them quickly done. But we will do it. We'll do it right. And pledge, I vow to my community that we will get the Charles Gray Rec Center and running for our community. You can hold me accountable to that.
All right, and I'll add, the good thing for you is we do have a master's facilities plan that has been sitting, collecting dust slightly, but we're at the stage of the board, gotta be honest about it. The board, has to have an opportunity to sit down and go over the data and make some executive decisions as to what we want the focus of each of those buildings to be. So I will forward that information to you, ensure that you are connected with C2AE, so that we can keep that work going because we've already invested in that plan.
Thank you, Madam President.
Secretary Triplett and then Treasurer Gavin.
I'll let Treasurer Gavin go first.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I know I'm not going to take this personal, but I am the chairman of the facilities committee. And no, I'm good. It just seems so easy. It just appears to be just so easy.
I overlooked your name.
I
I'm
know,
sorry.
I understand. I was looking at the agenda. I thought maybe my name was not on the agenda. And that could be possible too, because somehow, I don't know what this is about.
On there.
But I will press my way through. And I will digress. I will go ahead, Treasurer Gavin.
I appreciate that, Chair Triplett. I want to say, Superintendent Sanders, we all know that without a vision, people will perish. And the fact that you come in with a vision of increase gives me hope.
Yes.
Because I'm really tired.
Yeah.
Of the dead conversations about dead tigers. I'm tired of it. And so the fact that you come in with that mindset, that's something I can get behind. And the fact that you see the value in our land, because we're not getting any more land. So the fact that you see that, you have my utmost respect and support in that area. And I would love to look for ways to support that. And I would love for us to get that master facility plan up and running, and to make sure that this time when it is activated, we do have a plan to make sure that the community, students and staff, more people have an opportunity to give input into it, because that was the problem. It got stalled because of that issue. It wasn't enough input. And then some of it was hard, the way that it was done, some of it was hard to, for the respondents. So I definitely look forward to that. And the whole community, not the whole community, but a lot of people have been asking about the rec center. And I know that there's something going on with the water. I don't know if that got fixed, but is that I think, I don't know if we have an assistant director of facilities or somebody who can help make sure that if there are people using it, that there's functional water. Whatever the plumbing issue is taken care of. Thank you so much.
You have a response to that about the water and the recreation?
Well, yeah, my first response is that, as I walked through yesterday, not just the rec center, but just the basement of the dungeon. I'm no mechanic, I'm no electrician, I've never fixed anything in my life. But I did turn the water off that I saw running yesterday. So that was my first step to try to help us get our water bill under control. I think there's responsibility with the seat that I sit in that in 2 days, not to speak of things that I'm not completely sure of. What I can guarantee is that, those things will be fixed. We will have running water in our rec center, and our students will be able to access the rec center, and that will happen very soon. Like right now, we know that we're in a transition of selecting a director of facilities for our school district. But when we do that, you can rest assured that that will be a top priority on my list. And I will ensure that those things will happen.
Thank you.
But I did turn the water off when I started running yesterday. I want you to know that.
Vice President Bowens.
Just a heads up on Martindale. I drove out there. It's completely demolished, and it's a little interesting. People were driving up to the site. It was like I went to the school and the people were calling, telling us they tore it down. What was more interesting is it was a 2002 to 2003 lesson plan that I was able to take a picture of. And it just brought memories of a science fair projects. Remember when we used to have to do those science fairs and go to the mall and everything? And it showed us the possibilities of what that land can be once we get our numbers back up. So I'm just wanting to give you guys a heads up. I seen that they started doing some work at Bard too. So that was my update to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice President Bowens. Trustee Bradley.
I'm gonna be real quick. I just want to say, like I said, Mr. Sanders, the more I hear you talk about things and your vision, the more excited I'm getting, and I do agree that our facilities and our operations should be top of the line, and also that we have stability in that department. So from the few things when you first started out and saying that the clock is working now, I'm like, hey, okay, there we go. So keep up the good work, and like I said before, I look forward to working with you. And then also to my fellow board members, remember we got our strategic plan coming up too soon. So let's get ready.
Yes, just for me to I'm not sure how long the clock has been down. And I'm not sure if the clock is working when some of you all attended this high school. I know it's been down for some years, but that clock was very, very important to us. We used that clock when we walked to school to see where we were, to make sure that we were inside of this building on time. That clock, people rolled past and looked at that clock because that clock helped them in travel. And it's the little thing. It's not about all these, we look at things from a larger scale. And I know from a historical perspective and being an alumni of Benton Harbor High School, and in 2 years will be my 50th year class reunion. That means that I would have graduated from Ben Harbor High School. I graduated from Ben Harbor High School 48 years ago. And so I have a passion when I think about the rec center and I think about what with Trustee Doyle and the pool. That was a safe place for our kids. It was, you know, when we look at things that's happening right now in our country with a young man being killed and you go through and you look at the comments and people saying, you know, Black kids can't swim and they can't, all of those types of things. I remember physical education. I remember we didn't have the rec center at that particular time, but we caught a bus to the YMCA downtown. Swimming was a part of our curriculum. And so it is refreshing. It is refreshing. You have to, you know, our vice president said that when he went out there, he was able to take a picture from something from 2003. You know, I'm not emotionally attached to anything, but I am emotionally attached to excellence. In these buildings right now, when they close these buildings down, they're still the same book, paper, nothing has been done. And we have paid people for years, partnered with RISA. We've had people in that role that have just let things dilapidate. If the buildings are not properly taken care of, they go into decay. And that is what is happening. If you go to Sorter right now, you're going to see, the last time I went into Sorter, a couple of facility directors ago, the chalk, Ms. Gunter's name was still on the board. Ms. Gunter's name was still on the board. Nobody did anything in those buildings. At Henry C. Morton, we had spent, through our SIG grant, we had spent thousands of dollars on textbooks. That stuff was still left in that school. The same thing at Hull, like they closed it down and they walked away. So I think even if we're talking about making, you know, it's important. Ben Harbor is land rich. Ben Harbor area schools is land rich. And it's important that if nothing else, we hold on to our land. And to hear you say, I haven't heard that before, that from in this leadership role as superintendent, that what if one day all of our kids, our parents want to bring our kids back? Nobody's ever thought about it. It's like everybody just accepts the thing that they're not going to come back here. So I'm glad to hear you speaking in that way. I will, as the chairman and my colleague, Vice President Bowens and Trustee Doyle, I would like to get with you all as soon as possible, because I know you all are working throughout the day, but I am available to do something. So thank you so very much. And that's all I have for the facilities.
All right, so I will pass it over to Vice President Bowens. And Mr. Sanders, just so you're clear, because it's a work session, each of the chairs lead their section. And they're very protective of their section. So if I forget it's not my time to lead, they will check me, just like Secretary Triplett just
It
did.
only happened to me.
No, it happened to me too. I'm teaching and learning.
It only happened to me.
I apologize. All right, Vice President Bowens, you have the floor.
So because we've been in a season of transition, we have not met, but we will be back with the reoccurring meetings. Ms. Dorsey, I will be in contact with you and the superintendent to make sure that we have an agenda ready for our next committee meeting. However, it is some things that we do have to discuss and do. Time cannot wait. It's of the essence. So I will go ahead and give it to you, Director Dorsey.
Thank you so much. Our first staff report is separation of employment dated August 11th. Reason for board consideration: a list of employees whose employment relationship with the district is or will be separated is submitted to the board each month. Facts and analysis. It is recommended that the Board of Education vote to accept the separation of employment of the following staff. Policy reference 3140 and 4140, termination and resignation of professional support staff. Strategic plan goal reference, personnel leadership. Benson Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. Separation of employment, Paul Steinmetz, library media specialist, he is retired, effective August 30th, 2026. From central office, date of hire, November 11th, 2024. And he had the exit interview today, and you'll get the information by the next meeting. Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education vote to accept the resignation of employment of the aforementioned staff.
Thank you. Any questions regarding that? Trustee Bradley?
That position will be posted, correct, for that?
Yes,
Okay,
Just a work session.
well, on staff report H3, we do need to do a vote.
So we need to vote.
Whatever the board's pleasure.
Thank you. Staff report H3
You're on H2 technically.
or H2, sorry.
no worries. Staff report, Benton Harbor Area Schools, employments of staff, August 11th, 2026. Submitted for board approval to approve the employment of staff in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. Facts and analysis is recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for the hire of the following personnel. Policy reference 3120 and 4120, employment of professional staff. I'm sorry, my computer. Benton Harbor Area Schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. New hires, April Memont, certified teacher, ECSE, early childhood special education, should be at DEC, funding source special ed, section 51 and 52, effective August 12th, 2026. Recommended action that the board vote to approve the employment of the aforementioned staff.
Thank you. Is there any questions regarding staff report H2? Yeah, when being an, I will say, I didn't know special ed could go, I mean, I get it, but you know, that's still in the developmental stage. So that's new to me. I'm kind of shocked on that one, learning something new. Staff report H3.
Excuse me. Staff report, Benton Harbor Area Schools, employments of staff, August 11th, 2026. Submitting for consideration, the employment of staff in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. It's recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for the hire of the following personnel. Reference 3120 and 4120, employment professional and support staff. Benton Harbor Area Schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. The first recommendation is from Malcolm Jones as Director of Academics, Central Office, funding sources general funds, effective 8/15/2026. Second is Barry Trudell for Director of Facilities, Central Office, General Fund, effective date 8/15/2026. It is recommended that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education vote to approve the employment of the aforementioned staff.
Is there any question, a motion? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just needed clarification, as to why the vote would be required today, because we'll have a meeting prior to the 15th. And I just would like to apologize to the board because I don't want you all to think I brought you something same day for hire. I just assumed we would do it next meeting.
So, Madam President, currently school will be starting, if we waited until next week and their effective date is August 15th, if they have to give a 2-week notice to their job, time is of the essence. Right now, we need to be getting our schools and making sure we know those positions. We have not had a position, people in those positions for a while, over 60 days.
Okay, and then my second question, Superintendent Sanders, these are people that you had an opportunity to interview, and this is for you and Director Dorsey, but you had an opportunity to interview these people and feel confident with them on your team? Because you know you're responsible for the highs and the lows. Okay. I'm done with my question.
So thank you, Madam President. Is there any additional question, Trustee Gavin?
Thank you. Through the chair, I would like just, if you could just kind of walk me through what is the process of selecting candidates in these positions?
Well, you want me to, or?
Whoever you feel can answer that question.
Director Dorsey?
I described for both positions what we've done with these positions. So they were posted, the academic director was posted in February. We've interviewed several people throughout the spring. There was someone on the agenda as frequent as last week that was taken off. We interviewed as a team, the teachers, principals, and central office, Malcolm Jones last week. Mr. Sanders was part of the interview panel. And then Barry Trudell had gone through a process. We posted the position, we screened, we interviewed. The panel consisted of principals, central office folk. Dr. Griffin was supposed to tour with him, meet with him. She wasn't available. He did meet with Mr. Sanders, interviewed, toured, and he recommended him.
He is in, Superintendent Sanders recommended them?
Yes, both
Okay.
people.
Okay, thank you.
Is there?
Oh, I do have one more question. My apologies. In our screening process, is there a point system? And are there any points for hometown folks who know the area, the community, the district? Is there anything in the process that gives credit for those, that knowledge?
So we don't use a point system. We make sure that every applicant meets the qualifications, or in case if someone doesn't, if they've had experience that aligns with the education. There are no additional points for hometown folk. However, we try to bring in people from the area every chance we get.
Gotcha, thank you.
Trustee Doyle?
Yes, that was my question about getting people from our community into some of those positions.
Thank you.
I will speak to that, because I know these two gentlemen are from Benton Harbor. And I speak to the importance of hometown. I'm from Benton Harbor. That's why I left Memphis, Tennessee, to come back to Benton Harbor. But I also believe that we got to stay true to this statement that says Benton Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcome. Now, sometimes that's going to be somebody from Benton Harbor. Sometimes that's going to be somebody from somewhere else. And our kids deserve the best. So my position is to hire the best. If the best is from Benton Harbor, absolutely. I am pro Benton Harbor. I do not want anybody to misunderstand that. But my responsibility is to the students and the families of our community. And so my recommendation was based on who I think is the best to do these roles. And these are critical roles. We're talking about the director of academic programs. This is somebody who will have to align all of the support for our teachers and our principals. We're talking about the director of our facilities. And we know how important that is. I walked through these facilities yesterday, and I walked out both hopeful and frustrated at the level of decay, the lack of upkeep in our facilities. And so my decision is based on who's best, but I will say, and trustee Gavin, I agree. Benton Harbor people, when qualified for a particular position, should get consideration. And that will always be my position. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's best, and we have to honor this statement that we're reading that says we will hire and retain and recruit the absolute best for our children. And so that was my thinking, and that will continue to be my thinking.
Thank you. Is there any additional questions or trustee Rocket, speak in the mic, please?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. Their credentials are very, almost impeccable. They have great credentials. However, I'm looking also at leadership style because that's important. How you come in, how you treat people, how you care for people, how you, get along with folks. So I am hoping, and I believe that you have that also. The character part of it is also a part of this, is that they will come in and show that they respect our people that are working here, that live here, and that have already been doing the job, and that things will run smoothly, because you don't want to get that backlash, from your employees. I can come in as a principal and not get along with my staff. And actually, my staff is what would make me look good. So just as long as they understand that part of it, that their leadership style is of such a nature that we can get the job done together.
Thank you. Secretary Triplett and then trustee Bradley.
It's very, very important to me. What our treasurer said and our superintendent, and what trustee Rocket said. We cannot allow people to come into our community and treat our people any kind of way. And oftentimes, we're speaking from a point of experience and what we've experienced some things. And the mindset, the mentality, when people go online and they see just this data or whatever they see about our community, and sometimes people come in with that mindset that we have nothing and they are nobody, and then they find out something completely different. I hope that in this role and this recommendation, or these recommendations that you're bringing before this board, that these are people that will come in here with humility, respect for our tiger. And that's very, very, very important. I've told every superintendent that I've had the privilege and opportunity to serve as a board member, that when you pick your team, when everybody is in position and everybody is in place, and we take that picture, that's going to be a reflection on you. So I just want that out there, because I think that this hurting and how people are feeling less than, I've experienced it myself personally, as an employee of Benton Harbor Area Schools, where people came in here and just was horrible to us. And there's nothing like a tiger, a powerful tiger. And so I just really want to say that, and I want to say it publicly. And I mean that. Before I take it back, I'll add more to it. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'll ask
I'm sorry, Madam President.
yes. Oh, sorry.
I just want to say real quick, I do agree with both of my colleagues, and trustee Raquel Martin was saying. I did have a chance to take a look at the credentials and the and very, very impeccable resumes of both candidates. I will say this, respect goes both ways. So when they come in, we want you to come in respecting us, and then let's also respect them, and then let's show them how we are here in Benton Harbor, the good side, the good, and let them know, hey, we're here to support you in our community.
Thank you, trustee Bradley. You know, I looked at some of the resumes. I looked on LinkedIn, and Mr. Malcolm Jones has a book that's called Cheated: How American Athletes Profit from Performance While Failing to Protect the People Inside. And that title alone is good. But you look at the resume, Forest City, Arkansas. If you've ever been to Forest City, go down there. It's a little interesting. But it reminds me a little bit of the demographics of Benton Harbor. You know, one thing I always said, I asked the previous two superintendents, do you have confidence in your staff? Because that's your opinion. And also, if you're a people leader, your staff will mimic the leader in charge. So I'm excited, and I, told the superintendent that I am going to support him, whatever he brings to the table. Because my job is to give you the tools to be successful. And if this is who you're recommending, this is who I'm going to support.
All right, at this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to approve staff report H3?
I make a motion to approve staff report H3.
Support.
Okay, so I would ask, I know we've had questions, comments, and concerns. I would ask the staff if you could update the date, being that this is a current vote taken, it needs to reflect July 28th, 2026 at both the top and the bottom. The motion was made by Bradley, I believe, and supported by Vice President Bowens.
Yeah.
Secretary Triplett, can you please call
President Robinson,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I do have a comment. Just for clarity, I was asking about the process. If we don't have an objective process in our interviewing, in our recruitment process that gives credit to hometown people who have the knowledge of the community, who have certain knowledge that outsiders just don't have, then they will just inadvertently get overlooked. So this is not to say that we shouldn't get the best person for the job. I want us to have the best person for the job, regardless of whether they are from Benton Harbor or not. But I don't want us to overlook the knowledge that is gained from being within this community, already living in this community, coming from this community, and knowing some things about the history, the people, some things that you're just not going to learn. It's going to take you some time, that learning curve. And so I'm hoping that there will be some type of point system that does give our people some credit for what they bring to the table. So I just want to be clear there. And then I also want to say that this is last minute. We have not had an opportunity to properly review this information. And I also understand where we are right now. Okay, and so with that, understanding the emergency and the urgency of it, I don't like making last minute decisions, but I do understand that Superintendent Sanders needs a staff. He cannot do this by himself. And I do want you to have the support that you need so that you can move forth and do your job. So I will support this. I will be watching and I will, I will be watching and hoping that this is a good decision. But right now I will support the vote.
All right, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote for staff report H3?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Sanders. You've hired 2 directors on your second day. You got 4 legs on your table now.
I told him I feel so bad. I'm bringing you in here with two legs on the table.
Okay, so now old business, the only thing that I have for old business, we, after going back and forth last meeting, had settled on the last Saturday in August, and then Principal Sanders messaged me maybe about 5 minutes later that that date doesn't work for him. So neither of the Saturdays in August work for us. I'm wondering if we would have to go into September. I think the 5th is Labor Day weekend, which I doubt if we want to be here. I'll be in DC on the 12th. Is the 19th of September a good date for everyone?
For a retreat,
Yeah,
I believe that gives Superintendent Sanders some
enough
time to
time, okay.
get, you know, acclimated to his position. It might actually be a good idea to do it like that.
Okay, you have the floor, Superintendent Sanders.
You know, when you sit in this seat, you have, 7 bosses, which constitute the Board of Education. But the reason I couldn't do the retreat on the day initially proposed is because I also have an 8th boss. And she's 18, she's 17, getting ready to turn 18, and she's going to college. And so my baby is going to the pause. I have to move her that weekend. And I can't tell her no. No, because she's my 8th boss, and she has a hammer that's for real. So I gotta go. Other than that, I would absolutely be present during that time.
And we thank you and appreciate that. We understand, I think we went back and forth about 5 or 10 minutes with dates because every date didn't work for everybody. So we definitely, this board understands having a schedule that you have to plan around. And I appreciate you for letting me know so timely and quickly that it didn't work for you, because I was able to give the board, I think I emailed you all that night that date didn't work. So we will schedule tentatively for September 19, 2026. That'll give Superintendent Sanders enough time to get in, get acclimated, and then be able to assist and give his input as well on the items of focus for that day. Either Bradley or Raquel Martin, do you want to give us the standard reminder about the upcoming trainings?
I got you. If anybody's not doing anything on the weekend of August 7th to August the 9th, the Summer Institute is taking place in Kalamazoo. We're gonna go, me and Trustee Raquel Martin are gonna go up on both days, but it's a good time of networking with board members from all over the state. And then I will put this plug in as well. If the classes are virtual too, so they have a lot of classes that are virtual, so you can go in, take the virtual classes, and that way you can keep up on what's going on. The annual leadership conference is coming up in October, and that's going to be in Kalamazoo. So please get registered. The good classes go early. So try to get registered to see Ms. Ruiz or Ms. LeMay to get registered and get your rooms up there in Lansing. It's a good time. Everybody I think has been. And definitely a good time. We even invite you, Superintendent Sanders, even our executive, some of our executive teams too as well, if they would like to come up to network. And I will say it's a good time. Once the delegate assembly information comes out, I will be forwarding that information to you all. This should be out probably by the end of next month or early September. So that's all I got on that.
Okay, and I don't have anything for new business. Did you have any other update? Raquel Martin, you told us something last time, but maybe it was the same thing Bradley did. Okay. Vice President Barnes.
Treasurer Gavin had something about the partnership agreement. Is this the deadline where we're supposed to start putting it on the agenda? Treasurer Gavin, would you like to chime in? Sorry.
No, that's the exact question. Thank you.
So it's, I received clarification from the state that it didn't have to be on every regular board meeting agenda. It just had to be done at a regular board meeting. So we can do it quarterly. And when did I sign it? I know we went back and forth. Was that June or June? So thank you for that. We can, so I'll make sure that's on the agenda at the next board meeting. She clarified it doesn't have to be every board meeting, every regular board meeting. It just has to be done at a regular board meeting and not like a special. Yes, sir.
So when you say board meeting, would that be, would you be like, would it be better to put it on the work session so that we can get discussions up?
They want it at a regular board
They
meeting.
want it on the board
The
meeting.
regular standard, yep. Yep. And I thought that meant an update every month, but the updates just have to be at the standard regular board meeting and not like a work session or a special meeting. And it doesn't mean that we can't have a special meeting. The verbiage just says regular. So we have to make sure that it's done at the regular board meetings. Anyone for open public comment? All right, Superintendent Sanders, do you have any announcements or comments for your first successful meeting as superintendent of Ben Harbor Area Schools?
I just want to say thank you again to this board for having confidence and supporting me. Since the time that this board voted to appoint me interim superintendent, I've received a tremendous amount of support, and I really, really appreciate it. And, you know, I just will say over and over again that I will work to gain the confidence of this entire board and this entire community. You know, I am very humbled to be in this position. I know how important this is. Like I said before, I don't take this job lightly at all. I understand the weight of this position. And I will always operate understanding the weight of this position. And I want my entire community to know that I will operate with integrity and I will do what's best for our community. I absolutely love Benton Harbor. I want everybody to know that I am going to do what I think is best for our kids and our families. And I give you my word on that.
Thank you very much and congratulations.
We're gonna begin with trustee Doyle. Oh, she stepped out. Okay, trustee Bradley.
Want to thank everybody who's online listening. Thank you all for whoever came out. I just want to say that I'm excited. I know it's your second day, but I'm excited to see the work done. I would tell people when you were hired on as the principal here at the high school, I said, y'all know what? We don't hear nothing about the high school no more. Because I mean, every other week you will hear something negative, and I mean that's a testament to your hard work and your team's hard work. But you know, because it seemed like that was always the focus. Oh, the high school. But I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to supporting the vision, however I can. If it's bringing in a book to show you and say, hey, take a look at this, and here's what you think about this idea. And I'll say this to my fellow board members: let's run with the vision. Let's not sabotage it. Let's keep on moving. Let's go in a good direction and momentum. Because we know that the culture and the climate starts here at the board level and works its way down. And we want to set a good culture and climate for the next foreseeable future. Let's go in ready to get the strategic vision done, the strategic plan done. And let's working on our mindsets to change our mindsets to expect greater and better things for our district. And that's all.
All right, we'll go to trustee Raquel Martin.
Okay. I would like to say, all of us, as board members, let's do our job and support our superintendent. And I say that because in the past, I remember somebody coming up to the board table, making a reference that was what we were not doing. And so even in adversity or in disagreement, we still have to support our superintendent. We have voted for him, we hired him. Therefore, he deserves our respect, he deserves our support. There are avenues and channels that we can disagree and that doesn't have to come before the board table, that everybody has to know and see Not that you're trying to hide anything, but there's a proper place for everything. And so, Dr. Sanders, I'm going to support you. And I think you probably know that by now. I'm not one that really bites my tongue. I don't talk a lot, but you know, it is my endeavor to see you succeed and to see our district succeed and to keep that positive momentum going and attitude. And the board plays a lot on how that climate is perceived by the public. And so we want to have a united front. Is everything gonna be okay with us, our suggestions? But he's in the inside and we're on the outside looking in. He's on the inside looking out. So he would probably know some things a lot better than we do. And so we're gonna have to trust his judgment because we put him in that position. And so in trusting your judgment, I am going to support you.
He said it's Mr.
But I thank you for the promotion and the extra. I appreciate it.
So you're not down now. I understand.
Yeah. No, but I'll take it, you give it to me.
Okay,
Today,
we're playing the non-faith. We're playing the non-faith.
Like I said,
Okay.
Trustee Doyle.
Yeah, but
I like to thank everybody that is watching. I don't do a whole lot of talking, but when it comes time to talk, I'm gonna talk. For me, I'm grateful for Mr. Sanders. I'm excited just from hearing what you talked about at this meeting and in our conversations. I just want you to know that I really want you to do really well. And I also need you to know I'm watching. You guys have a wonderful evening on purpose.
All right, Treasurer Gavin.
Okay. It's very interesting, Superintendent Sanders, when you were saying integrity, I was thinking integrity. That is the most important thing to me. I love PhDs and master degrees and all them pretty letters. And I know I didn't conjugate that verb properly. But I care about integrity. I care about words and actions matching up. And there was a time when your integrity was questioned and you stood on integrity. And I respect that. And you in this position, you will be hit from some heavy hitters who want our land, who don't care anything about our children, who care more about power than what our children and families are going through. And it's going to be so important that you keep that you maintain that integrity, even when it doesn't feel popular. And if you do that, I will have your back for real, regardless of what anybody has to say about me. If you do that, I will have your back. And so I appreciate you taking the position. I look forward to your success. My son will be a Tiger, not this year, but next year. So what I want you to know is that your success is my success. And so I'm with you, and you know, I look forward to the best coming this year and moving forward.
thank you.
Secretary Triplett.
recuse yourself. You could call him.
First of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank my colleague from the bottom of my heart. I know many people won't believe this, but I did not know he was coming here for an interview to become the principal, because on the highway, He said, I'm coming to Ben Harbor. I'm gonna apply for the principalship. Well, I felt some kind of way. Because had not said anything to me. I didn't say anything because I knew what he could do and how much he loved children, no matter where he was. And I really honestly never wanted, it was important to me that I did not put my trauma, my experience on him, because I wanted him to have his own. When I walked in this room tonight and I saw him sitting at that table and the name tag in front of him, I was like, wow. It was just a moment. I was 12 when he was born. When he went to kindergarten, I graduated from high school. And so he's always been a little man. My parents had him late. I just want you to do your best. I want you to treat people with respect and dignity. I want you to give it all you got. Be integral. Be respectful. And do the work that's in your heart. It doesn't matter what I think. Do your work. Do your job. I know Mama would be so proud of you. Okay? So do a good job. Thank you.
Up next, we have Vice President Barnes.
Again, thank you, Madam President, and congratulations on your first meeting as superintendent of Benton Harbor Area Schools. I look forward to supporting you in your leadership, your vision. And I wanted, in my Donald Trump voice, get so tired of winning that we're just gonna win so much. So I want us to be tired of winning, so I am excited. No, in all serious though, a few days ago, I talked to staff, and they reached out and they were telling me how it was a calming experience Monday. They said the superintendent door was open, and that just spoke volumes. They told me they had to pull over in their car because they were crying about how peaceful their workday was, and how the demeanor and the superintendent approach was just wonderful. Now, I lost a few friends and people talking to me for supporting and putting it out there to supporting the superintendent. I don't regret my vote. I don't regret doing it. However, I know anything that goes on in the district, so I am counting on you to lead us. It's a war, and I think we have a fierce urgency of now that we have to focus on. And I am excited about the progress and I look forward to your leadership. On that note, good night.
Okay, so I will be brief. I just want to point out that it's 7:52 p.m. So we are getting out of here extremely early. I thank Vice President Barnes for chairing in my absence this afternoon, or brief absence this evening. I appreciate you significantly. I want to offer you sincere congratulations on your selection to this position. I think of all the things that people have said, I think for me is your humility and how gracious you are
and walking in the acceptance of what God has designed for you in this season. And the only time that you'll ever get a rise out of you is when you're talking about something that you're passionate about. And we saw that at the table. Other than that, I've never seen you not chill and calm and relaxed in the way that you move and do your work. And I think that's something that is extremely important in leadership at Benton Harbor area schools. And I think it's partially because you're us. You understand how we are culturally, how we think, what we need. And I think it's just a good fit. There's a peace and a calm at this table in this moment that feels good to my leadership. So I'm grateful to have you join us. But I do want to ensure that you, and I know that you do, you understand the seriousness of your placement in this position from where we've been to where we are now. Your success in this position has the ability to be the saving grace and turnaround for Benton Harbor area schools. And I hope that that is something that you feel not in an overwhelming way, but in a way that allows you to be comfortable in your greatness and the purpose that you've been called here for. So I'm looking forward to leading with you and supporting you. I know I've been sweet as pie as you've known me as Miss Robinson, but I can be completely different as a boss. So I will always support you as well, but I do have high expectations for the way that you support the district and the work of this board. And I'm grateful to have you here. So with that being said, I'll ask is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
The motion has been made by Bradley and supported by Boones. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I do have, no.
Secretary Triplett, please call the vote.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yeah. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, meeting is adjourned officially at 7:54 PM.